Most people assume Roman roads are relics of antiquity, beautiful lines etched across Europe, admired for their symmetry, their precision, their endurance. The reality is far more consequential. These roads were not just infrastructure, they were the arteries of empire, survival tools for armies, and unheralded feats of logistical mastery. What is often overlooked is that the engineering principles the Romans perfected over 2 millennia ago still offer insights for modern planners and survivalists alike. When we study these roads today, we are not simply examining old stones. We are uncovering a blueprint for durable, adaptable systems that allowed a civilization to project power, maintain cohesion, and endure under extreme conditions that would challenge even the most prepared modern states. Understanding how the Romans built, maintained, and relied on their roads forces us to reconsider both historical assumptions and contemporary approaches to infrastructure and resilience. The Roman Empire depended on speed and reliability in ways most people underestimate. The Roman army is often remembered for its discipline and tactical formations, but behind every successful campaign was an equally impressive logistical network. The Romans faced the challenge of moving tens of thousands of soldiers, their equipment, and supplies across diverse terrain, mountains, marshes, and rivers, without modern vehicles or railways. Speed was crucial, not for surprise alone, but for survival. Armies that lingered in the field without sufficient resupply risked disease, desertion, or catastrophic defeat. Roman roads, meticulously engineered, allowed units to march 20 to 30 kilometers a day with relative predictability, even in harsh weather. Unlike many later medieval roads, which succumbed to mud, erosion, and poor planning, Roman roads endured because they were built from the ground up to be functional, resilient, and maintainable, reflecting a practical mindset rather than aesthetic priorities. The construction of a Roman road was a disciplined and highly organized effort, not random labor. A common misconception is that Roman roads were built by slaves improvising with available stones. In reality, road construction was highly technical and methodical. The Romans began with surveying, using tools like the groma and chorobates to establish straight lines and proper gradients. Engineers considered soil type, drainage, and seasonal weather. The base of a road, called the statumen, used large stones to provide stability, followed by layers of smaller stones and sand, compacted to form the ruderatio and nucleus, before being finished with tight-fitting paving stones, the summa crusta. This multi-layered approach prevented waterlogging and subsidence, lessons still relevant for modern infrastructure today. Each road was designed for longevity. Some have survived more than 2,000 years. For survivalists and modern planners, this really demonstrates the value of building systems with redundancy and adaptability rather than just, aiming for temporary convenience. Even the most durable road can fail without attention, honestly. The Roman approach to maintenance was systematic. Regular inspections were conducted and local municipalities or military units were responsible for repairs. It's a reminder that, upkeep was as important as the initial construction. Milestones and road markers were not merely for navigation, they were tools for administration and accountability. When armies marched through remote provinces, the existence of well-maintained roads could be the difference between operational success and collapse. Modern infrastructure often prioritizes speed of construction over durability, and maintenance planning a trade-off the Romans managed differently. Their insistence on routine upkeep allowed roads to function for centuries, supporting commerce, communication, and military readiness simultaneously. The impact of these roads extended beyond engineering. They shaped strategic thinking in ways that still resonate today. Roman generals relied on predictable transit routes to concentrate forces rapidly or redeploy in response to threats. Supplies could reach frontline troops more efficiently, reducing reliance on local foraging, which minimized civilian disruption and disease spread. Lessons in logistics and population management relevant to both military historians and emergency planners. Moreover, the network fostered resilience. When certain routes were blocked or destroyed, alternatives allowed armies and traders to adapt without catastrophic failure. Roads were not merely passive infrastructure, they were active tools of endurance and operational flexibility. Modern civil engineers often focus on maximizing traffic capacity or minimizing upfront costs, sometimes at the expense of durability or adaptability. The Roman model, by contrast, prioritized long-term functionality under variable conditions. Layered construction, attention to drainage, and regional adaptation allowed roads to withstand floods, frost, and decades of constant use. For contemporary society facing climate volatility, supply chain interruptions, or civil emergencies, these principles are strikingly relevant. A road is not merely concrete and asphalt. It is a survival tool, an enabler of movement and resilience. Integrating redundancy, local adaptability, and maintainable design can make modern infrastructure more akin to the Roman example, engineered for both endurance and strategic advantage. Roads required coordination among local laborers, soldiers, and skilled engineers. They were instruments of both control and collaboration. Regions with well-maintained roads benefited from trade, stability, and communication, while poorly connected areas suffered isolation and vulnerability. This teaches a broader lesson about infrastructure. Its value is not only technical but social. Systems that support rapid movement of resources, information, and people strengthen societal endurance. Roads are therefore both physical and strategic assets, linking geography to governance, military capability, and human survival. When central authority weakened, roads fell into disrepair. Bridges collapsed. Paving stones were removed for local projects and, well, seasonal weather took its toll. Once reliable routes became dangerous or impassable, local economies and military logistics suffered. The historical record is clear. Infrastructure neglect has immediate consequences for both survival and governance. For anyone interested in preparedness or historical lessons on resilience, the decay of Roman roads really underscores that durability alone is insufficient. Systems really do require continuous investment, oversight, and, well, integration into broader strategic objectives to actually retain their value. Studying Roman roads honestly reveals hidden intelligence about empire building and, human endurance. By examining these networks, we actually gain insight into the daily operational realities of empire. Roads, in a sense, tell us how armies moved, how trade flowed, and how survival depended on foresight, planning, and, of course, disciplined execution. They remind us that, human endurance is not only about physical stamina or tactical skill, but also about the quality of the system supporting life, movement, and defense. Roman engineers recognized that predictable, durable infrastructure really amplifies the effectiveness of human effort, a principle that's equally applicable to modern military logistics, civil planning, and even survivalist strategy. The enduring relevance of ancient engineering, honestly, demands attention in the modern world. When we walk along a Roman road today, it's easy to see only the stones and mortar, but the deeper lesson, I think, lies in the mindset and methodology behind their construction and maintenance. The Romans approached challenges with long-term thinking, balancing immediate needs with enduring resilience. This approach, honestly, remains instructive for anyone tasked with designing, sustaining, or surviving within complex systems. Roads were not merely transportation, they were instruments of endurance, foresight, and survival. In studying them, we reclaim lost insights about preparation, adaptation, and the strategic application of human ingenuity. Understanding these lesser-known aspects of Roman road building enriches our appreciation of both history and the practical lessons it carries for survival, infrastructure, and strategic planning. By resurrecting this knowledge, we are reminded that civilizations endure not only through military victories but through the careful, often invisible labor of engineering systems that support life and operations across generations. These lessons are more than antiquarian curiosity. They are really guides for resilience in a world where speed, reliability, and adaptability remain critical to survival. If you value in-depth historical analysis that uncovers these overlooked realities, consider subscribing to Iron Age Instincts and sharing this video. Exploring the past teaches us how to endure the present and prepare for the future.